Good morning, gossip, rumor, and innuendo fans. It is Tuesday, February the 28th. It is the last day of the month. It's also a snow day in New Jersey. I'm so excited. I'm going to put a fire in the fireplace. I'm going to cuddle up warm, and I'm just going to relax in my house while working from home. And trial watching. So, a couple of things on my mind this morning. Number one, it's been reported that a lot of people have been, like tourists or whatever, have gone to the Walterboro, Moselle, Low Country area, and they've been taking selfies at the Murdaugh property. Now, I have actually seen a couple of these on social media, but the ones I saw were like people out on the roadway, but really like there's nothing to see on the roadway. It's just them standing in front of the numbers by the house. But apparently the cops have had to shoo people off the property who have trespassed, gone to the kennels, and taking pictures. What is wrong with you? Okay, before this trial happened, I had heard that there were people who were planning like girls' trips and whatever to go down and to attend the trial. That kind of made sense to me, although that is not my idea of like a fun getaway. And I am a hardcore true crime fanatic. But to spend my vacation sitting in a courtroom in South Carolina where there is pollen and racism? No, thank you. I mean, listen, there's racism everywhere. I've been Black for years. You know this. I know this. We all know this. That notwithstanding, what is wrong with y'all? Okay, not y'all, because I know the people who watch this channel are good people, and you're not down there taking a selfie in front of like blood and leftover pallets. Ew. But hopefully people will get themselves together and stop. That's just wrong. I wonder if they'll tear the kennel down. You know, they're tearing down that house out in Washington or Seattle, Oregon, wherever it was. Those murders, the 4 murders, they're tearing that house down. Whoever buys Moselle, what do you do with that property? Do you turn it into a tourist destination and just lean in? Does it remain a hunting camp? I strongly believe it's haunted. Paul's going to be there forever. So y'all going to have to deal with him. Is he spoiled in the afterlife? Is he like demanding? I don't know. Okay. Anyway. Yesterday on the stand, John Marvin got up there and actually he seemed very human and nice and kind and calm. I think he's my favorite Murdaugh. Now, let's be real. I don't know any of them personally. And I'm glad. But he seemed like a decent guy. Honestly, he seemed to be more like real and emotional than Paul's father. If you watch the Netflix documentary, they say on there that Alex and Maggie were not like really close to Paul, like superficially close. They cleaned up his messes or whatever, but basically he was a pain in the neck. But his uncle, John Marvin, seemed to have a real affection for him. And maybe that's because John Marvin is not a lawyer. Paul was unlikely to become a lawyer. So maybe they had that bond. Paul was reportedly a hard worker. Good for him. Apparently he was a hard partier too, because, you know, the drinking, the drugs, the wrecking boats and killing people. Good and bad. I guess everybody has a bad side. But John Marvin got on the stand and humanized the family. He also humanized Alec in a way that I would not appreciate. He talked about his brother's drug addiction. He talked about driving his brother from detox to rehab. And for those who don't know, detox is where you get all the drugs out of your system. Rehab is where you learn to keep the drugs out of your system. So Alex kept going to detox to get the drugs out of his system, but not to rehab. So he couldn't stay stopped. Finally, he had agreed to go to rehab and his brothers were going to drive him there. He was having some side effects. My throat is still very dry from the laryngitis. He was having some side effects from the detoxing and the drugs leaving his system. And he had very bad diarrhea, which, ew, we didn't need to know that. And apparently he evacuated his bowels in his pants in the car. Whose car was that? Was it a rental? Did you have to just throw the whole car away? Could you hose it out? How much did you have to pay the people who had to detail that car? And the smell. Okay, I can't. The entire story was disgusting. And I think it was meant to humanize Alec. But honestly, it made me think, yeah, he's disgusting on every level. Although, if you're trying to kick drugs and you have some little side effects like that, good for you. But I would advise diapers. Just going forward, if you're going to detox and be in a car for a long time, diapers. Now we know. I wonder if John Marvin can now get like a Depends ad or something. and help him defray the cost of Alex's prosecution or defense or whatever they're doing down there. Here's the other thing. The jury. What are we going to do with this jury? So the jury is going to go to Moselle. They're going to have a look around. They're going to see what's what, and then they're going to go and deliberate. What do you think this jury is going to do, right? I think, personally, that this dude is guilty. The question is not, is he guilty? The question is, did the state prove it? Did the state come with enough evidence to prove that he is guilty? I've been chatting about this down in the comments with my pal Aaron. I mean, I don't know Aaron, but I know Aaron because he comments and he and I talk back and forth. And he reminded me about Casey Anthony. And I started thinking, what about OJ? Remember when the OJ verdict came back? Were you old enough to remember that? I was grown when the OJ verdict came back. And I was shocked. I tell you, I was listening to it on headphones on my radio while standing in line at the bank, cashing my paycheck. That means it must have been a Tuesday. Anyway, when that verdict came back, I was like, there's no way they said not guilty. They must have said guilty. He's obviously guilty, but then he wasn't guilty. And it was like, okay, but they took him down on some other financial crime. And then when the Casey Anthony verdict came back, people lost their ever-loving minds. And my thing is this. What are we going to do if Alec Murdaugh gets acquitted? Now, I don't think he'll get acquitted. I think this jury will hang, or I think he will be found guilty. And listen, I like for my team to win. He did this thing. I think that team should win. But realistically, I'm not on this jury. I don't live in that community. I don't know like what their sensibilities are or whatever. But something tells me like, what if we get an unexpected verdict of any variety in this case? What if they all get together and acquit him? What if they say like, yeah, the state didn't prove their case? We have not heard the jury instructions yet, right? So the judge will come back and he will give the jury instructions. He will tell them what the law is. He will define the law for them and then lay out like, here are the things that you need to believe are true. It's not in your heart, do you think he's true? The question is, did the state prove A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, whatever the counts are? The state has to prove them all. And if the jury says the state did not prove them all, that doesn't mean he didn't do it. That just means the state didn't prove it. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? We need to prepare ourselves for every possibility. And Aaron is absolutely right. We don't know what's gonna happen in this case. And that's the crazy making part. So, have you prepared a therapist appointment? Are you gonna get some liquor? You're just gonna go out, have a cup of coffee? Gonna let it roll off your back and go on to the next case? What you gonna do? Honestly, I suspect that the internet will go crazy. People will be upset and have agita and aggravation. The Murdaughs will feel vindicated. And then Alex will go to prison for the rest of his life for financial crimes. I think we all gonna win either way. Honestly, like they say the jury always gets it right. I don't know about all that. But what I think will happen is whatever is meant to happen. But from the bottom of my heart, I really hope he's found guilty. Also, one other thing. It occurred to me that Alex Murdaugh lied about something else that really hasn't been brought up, but I think some people may have noticed. I noticed this. So he gets confronted by Jeannie Seckinger on June 7th, right? And so they're having this conversation and his phone rings and he takes the call and he says to Jeannie, my father is being put in hospice. And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. And she changed to friend mode and like then she walked out of the office. Here's the thing. He got a phone call from his brother. His father wasn't being put in hospice. In fact, that call was good news at the time. Everybody's saying, why would he need to kill Paul and Maggie? Because his father was dying. He didn't know his father was dying at that time. They had no idea at that time that his dad would die in just 2 short days. The dad had pneumonia. The dad couldn't breathe. And they took him to the doctor. And the doctor says, oh, no, this is not the cancer. This is pneumonia. And we can treat the pneumonia. We're going to put him in the hospital and we're going to treat the pneumonia. So like, happy day, right? He was not being sent home on hospice. But what Alex said was he's being sent home on hospice. Just another lie to buy him a little time. Did he like dig deep into his bag of tricks and kill his family to buy himself more time? That justification makes sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to this jury. We will find out. Listen, It's the morning, more to come in the prosecution today. What will Crieghton Waters get up there with his rebuttal witnesses? Will he go on for 5 to 10 years? Lord knows that man can talk. But who am I? Lord knows I can talk too. Like I do go on and on and on. But it's just me and you. The whole world is not watching me. There's like tens of people. Now there's 20s of people. You know what's funny? When I started this channel, I think it had like 35 followers. And they were all my relatives because I started this channel to update my friends and family who live in the Midwest on how I was doing during the pandemic. This used to be called like the quarantine channel or quarantine diaries, something like that. And every day I was like, y'all, this is what I saw at the supermarket. Oh my God, this is what I saw in the neighborhood. My neighbors are drinking. All they recycling is full of liquor bottles. That was this channel, right? Me and my ridiculousness. And then I started watching a lot of TV, and it was me reporting on Meerkat Manor and the scandal that was Flower sleeping with all these people. They were other meerkats. And now I'm ranting about, then I was ranting about court TV. Check out State of Tennessee versus Janet Hines. I have a video. Janet is ratchet. She's now in prison where she belongs. But her daughter-in-law, Melissa, is my favorite person. And then it was West Virginia versus Macaulay. See, I have a long history of jumping from topic to topic and getting bored and then not posting for 6 months and then coming back and doing something different. All of that to say, when this trial is over, I may never post about another trial again, or I might start posting about something else, or I might forget how to use YouTube or just turn this into a channel of recipes. I do not know. You may have guessed I have a teensy bit of ADHD and I get bored kind of easy. I'm honestly surprised I haven't gotten bored of this trial, but I've just been following it along and we'll see what happens. So when this trial is over, I will figure out what to do next. A lot of people are saying Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell. Maybe that whole thing is a mess. I really, really like the idea of covering this crazy lady who locked her husband in the suitcase, her boyfriend in the suitcase. That seems like a mess, but I think that's going to be a short trial because she's clearly crazy and she videotaped herself doing a crime. Like, what you going to say? Don't believe your lying eyes. Believe me, I'm sober for 3 seconds. So obviously I didn't kill that man. Okay. We're going to see what happens next. My voice is starting to give out. I need to go collect some nice fresh snow before the animals, the squirrels, my dogs pee in it. We're going to make snow ice cream today. Does that sound delicious? Nice, fresh snow ice cream. Maybe I'll make it chocolate. I love chocolate snow ice cream. Okay, you have a great day. We will talk after court today, and we'll see what madness Crieghton Waters brings to the table. I'll see you soon. Bye.